This is Harry Davis from Verifying, and I'm joined by Fes Batista ahead of his Misfits Boxing debut in Leeds against Ben Williams on January 20th. Firstly, Fes, how are things?
Things are great. I'm really, really excited. I'm absolutely thrilled and over the moon to finally get my opportunity on Misfits Boxing. Influencer boxing is growing faster than you can say fast. It's unbelievable, and I'm so happy and thrilled to be saying, I'm working for KSI. I'm so happy. Yeah, I cannot wait.
Your journey is well documented, but there will be some people, again, like I said, it's your Misfits debut who are seeing you for the first time. So, in a nutshell, can you sort of describe, who you are and how you got into boxing?
Well, I'm actually the original first ever influencer boxer. I started this journey. Look, I went to university. I just wanted to get a degree and be a football coach or a sports coach in a warm country. That's all I ever wanted. But I had to move to a place far away from home. And unfortunately, I had a lot of racism there, a lot of bullying, a lot of aggressive, physical, and violent bullying towards me. And I attempted suicide. And I literally, yeah, it was really, really dark times. And a Lady Gaga song on a laptop playing on my bed before Marry the Night literally saved my life. And, with the knife in my hand, I promised myself that day and that one day I'm going to do something massive. I'm going to prove these bullies, I'm going to get my revenge one day. I wasn't quite sure how. So I was like, look, I'm going to, like Gaga says in that song, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a star because I have nothing left to lose. And that's how I felt. And I started a journey. I wanted to do boxing because I knew I could do a little bit. So I moved to Las Vegas. I did some boxing, and then the WBC, heard about my story, and they made me the head of anti-bullying for the WBC. And I've just celebrated my 10th year of anti-bullying influencing. So yeah, I've been doing anti-bullying influencer boxing for over 10 years now. So I'm the first ever influencer boxer. I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan. I'm a huge KSI fan, and yeah, I just try to go around the world trying to make the world a kinder place.
There's a lot to unpack here, but I'll go to your life at university. I think you mentioned there being a sports coach. Were you like a fan of boxing when you were at uni? What uni were you at? And I think, like you said, you were studying sport. Did you sort of have a specific profession in mind that you wanted to go towards before you changed to boxing?
I was a big Jose Mourinho fan, and Alex Ferguson and all these tactical guys, and they were really cool to me. And you were massive football fans. I'm a Huddersfield Town fans. You are all big into football. And look, all I wanted to do was become like a sports coach in a warm country because I'm brown. I'm built for the heat. Sometimes in England it gets a bit chilly for me. So I thought a job in like Spain somewhere, Turkey, Portugal, nice, steady away, nothing fancy, just a basic coach. It's all I ever dreamed about. And I had to go to Manchester Met Uni. So I was like, oh, Manchester's great. But the campus I was at, it was in Crewe. It's actually far away from Manchester, like 20 minutes away. It's the middle of nowhere. There's fields everywhere. And I was like, I thought I was going to Manchester City Centre a bit. Yeah. So unfortunately for me there, I was isolated a lot. I'm a very social person. I know I have a good heart. My dad always taught me, look, if you have a good heart and a big smile, worldwide, wherever you go, no problem. And unfortunately for me, I was one of the only colored people there of this background, and things were very, very difficult for me, and I couldn't understand. I kept malfunctioning. I was like, why are people like looking at me like this? As I come into the lecture theatre, everyone's like moving away as if I had a disease or something like this. It was really, really difficult, and the more it happened, the worse it got. And then I'd go on nights out to try and socialize, but that's when it was the worst because people were very brave. I remember they would surround me and go, you're terrorist, you're this. I don't want to say all the words that they said. They used to push me around. Remember girls would throw orange juice at me. I remember very, very clearly throwing orange juice at me. I was just like, all because I was different. And I'm not the most cleverest person in the whole wide world. So I knew I was never going to be like a manager, how like these guys, I thought, so if they're tomorrow's managers, so my future's over. My future's terrible. I'm going to get this for the rest of my life, I thought to myself. So if there is a hell, it can't be worse than this. So I was just done. I remember the one night I remember it was about 2 a.m. and the student night had finished. I was on my own trying to talk to people. Nobody was. I stood outside on my own, and I remember one girl come up to me, and she had a few little friends around her, and she said, "You fucking terrorist," to my face. And I remember my stomach literally felt physically like it went down, and man, that's when I was like, yeah, if all these people are saying that, like, maybe I don't know, brown people are bad or something. I kind of believed it. And then I remember very, very clearly going back to my room. I remember the brown curtains so clearly. Shall we talk about this part? Or yeah, yeah. I remember the brown curtains on there. There was a brown bed. There was brown bedding as well. And my laptop, my YouTube laptop, it was playing random songs. And I remember closing my eyes, Harry. I closed my eyes, right? I said, look, one quick highlight reel. The first goal I scored, and I remember, I used to play football. I used to call myself Inzaghi, put my collars up and score goals in junior school. I just had a quick highlight reel, and then I was crying, and I was like, right, you do it now. I got the knife in my hand, right there, like this, pressing onto it, and that's when I heard those lyrics. Lady Gaga song, "Marry the Night." I won't give up on my life. I'm a warrior queen. I'm a soldier to my own emptiness. I'm gonna marry the night. And it's like, wow, it's like, that whole video is 13 minutes long. For those lyrics at that particular time to be playing, I don't know how God, whatever you want to, cause the timing was just like it froze me. I just froze, and I was crying for hours and hours. And after, I played the song so many times, and then I said to myself that day, like she says in that day, she's in the hospital and she had a mental breakdown, and she says, "I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be a star because I have nothing left to lose." And I felt the same. I was like, I've got nothing left to lose. I was fully convinced. I was disgusting because of the color of my skin. I was literally that disgusted in myself that I wanted to kill myself. And it was only because of the bullying, but I believed the bullying. I believed I was nasty or whatever, even though I wasn't. So I didn't know how I was going to do it. So then for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to get my revenge. This is about revenge. And one day I'm going to do it. So I dedicated the rest of my life till this day to getting that revenge, of being successful, of being on the TV. They can search me up on Google. Oh, whatever happened to that guy we used to slap around? Yeah, he's on the TV. He's fighting on the world stage. He's with KSI. Do you know what I mean? I want them to see that. That's my revenge. I want them to see that. Wow, I want them to pay money to come and watch me fight on the 20th of January at the Leeds First Direct Arena. I want them to see that, because that's what I'm about. Because there's two ways to go revenge. You could go left, which is not a positive way. You get angry, you could do violent stuff. Or you know what? Go right. Go positive. Go do something big. Go achieve a dream. Do something that nobody thought you could do. Go to Las Vegas and however, get yourself on TV, inspire people, change lives, become stronger from it. So for me, that was my big turning point. It was a blessing in disguise, Harry. I went there initially to be a basic sports coach, and I ended up a psycho focused on this dream, delusion, if you want to call it, but fully determined.
So like you said there's so much to discuss, but the main thing is you have all these thoughts at uni. How do you go from braving up the courage to leave uni? I know you had to endure a lot, so maybe that wasn't a hard decision because of what you're going through, but you leave uni and then you say, I want to, go across the other side of the world and fulfill this dream, which you did. So how did you go about doing that?
Oh gosh, it was difficult because nobody in my generation has been to university. I was the first person, and there was my family were very proud. Our son has gone to university. Huge thing for us, coming from, India, Pakistan. This region is not, what I mean? So they never been to uni. So when I told them, they were not very happy. But I was talking with Amir Khan at the time, and Amir Khan is a superstar boxer, and he was like, he's being quite nice to me, and he was like, come over, I've got a fight versus Zab Judah, this, that, and the third. And I reached out to the Mayweather Boxing Club, and got through to Jeff Mayweather online. And I said, look, I have this dream. I would love to come over there and train, because if I can even get 1% of what you guys teach at the Mayweather Boxing Club, surely I'll be able to, achieve my dream of doing something in the sport. And he was like, okay, come check it out. So I asked my dad, I says, look, Dad, Amir's fighting a huge fight versus Zab. Also, look, there's another reason I could potentially get a training situation with the Mayweathers. So he was like, okay. So then we went over for a week, and Jeff took me under his wing. He said, yeah, you know what, I'll train you. You seem enthusiastic. You've got, a good story, and I believe in you. Let's do it. So that's how it started. Yeah.
So like I said, you've been in boxing for quite a while now, and I believe your box record is 2-0. Have you been like as active as you wanted to be? Maybe you've had fights that didn't go on your record. What's your sort of, because I know you've been training a long time, you now are Misfits. What's your sort of background like fights wise?
Fight wise, yeah, I had the first fight, March 28th, 2015. Coincidentally, Roy Jones Jr. was the main event, but guess what? That was Lady Gaga's birthday. Can you believe that? Can you actually believe that? That is Lady Gaga's birthday, man. I kid you not. It's just Wow. And I got a standing ovation. I won that fight. Then I had a leg injury there. But then I was thinking to myself, well, maybe I've done it. Maybe I have. Look, who goes to Florida, fights for Roy Jones in front of 10,000 people in an iconic arena where Michael Jackson has performed, right? You'd think. Then I was like having these thoughts, and I thought, look, continue my anti-bullying stuff. Keep telling the kids, look, I went there and I did that. But then deep down inside, there was something still burning. So then in 2018, I teamed up with Huddersfield Town Football Club, and then we did some great promotion. I got injured just before my fight, but I didn't want to let people down. So I went and I won that fight. I struggled because I was quite badly injured. So I won that fight. And then we had to come. I had a bit of a health situation that took at least about a year or so off from me. I had to make sure my health was okay. I don't want to go into what that actually was. And in 2019, I went over there, trained really hard with Roy for 3 months. Unfortunately, I didn't get a fight. And then I had to come back to the UK. And then as I was again ready to come back again, COVID hit. Then, so long story short, 2022, um, January, my fight was called off because I had to leave the country because I visited Mexico before coming to the US because COVID had these rules with the US. So 4 days before my visa finished because the Mexico days counted towards my visa. So that cost me that fight. Then I was supposed to have 3 fights in 3 months. Two in Alabama, one in Memphis. So in April, we flew down, we trained, we got ready, opponent didn't turn up. And we're like, what the hell? So that was really heartbreaking. And then a couple of weeks later, I got a bad injury that ruled me out for the rest of the year. Pretty much, it was a bad one. I was also starving myself. I was really struggling with that. So I made some mistakes in camp there. And then yeah, as I was then thinking, wait, maybe it's not meant to be. You know, I had people in my ear saying, look, you're trying, you're spending all this money, getting all these sponsors, but nothing's really miraculously, nothing's happening. And then KSI releases a song, It's Not Over Yet. And I love that song because he's like, he's constantly saying it's not over yet. And he's got some very good lyrics. And a couple of months later, he releases Misfits. And then I'm like, Misfits, Mohammed Faisal is my legal name, MF. And I'm thinking Misfits. And I'm looking at what their concept is, influencers, people with good stories, people that are entertaining. So I was just like, you know what? This is looking good. And I got in contact and yeah, I've actually been on the Misfits radar since like February so of 2023. So we were just trying to wait for the right fight. I was supposed to fight Jarvis, the main event for the November show. He turned it down for whatever reason. So unfortunately, I couldn't get that fight. But now here I am. But I've always trained. You know, I'd go over to Roy Jones' camps and I'd stay there for several months, sparring all kinds of guys, all kinds of styles. So I'm certainly got enough skill to handle myself in the ring.
Has most of your training camp been done with Roy, and is he going to be in the corner for this one or not?
For this one, I haven't been able to train with Roy Jones for this one. It's been very last minute. This fight initially, I was told I wasn't fighting in Leeds, so you know we chilled out, and then I got the call, and you know my uncle passed away about 6 hours before I got the call, so I was distraught. I was all over the place, and then you know I took a few more days, and then I accepted the fight, and slowly got myself into training. So it's been all over the place. Roy, unfortunately, is a little bit tied up. He said he's still going to try to come for this fight, but you know, he says if not, then the next one you can do your full training camp here again, and then we can go that way. So, yeah, still keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully, he can come for the fight night, but we'll see.
I have to ask about, you know, the person who saved you, Lady Gaga. Have you ever met her? If not, is it on the bucket list? And I'm guessing on the fight night you'll be walking out to one of her songs or not?
Yes, yes, yes. She's my hero. She's Mother Monster. You know, she calls her fans the little monsters. So like I have my own like Gaga glasses that we make, and it's got from Marry the Night. It's like little blingy things you can see, and it's yeah. I'm a huge, huge fan. I love her message. I love who she is. I love the creativity. And I'm not afraid to say it in the sport of boxing. People laugh sometimes and say, "Oh, that's the Gaga guy," but I'm very proud because if it wasn't for her song "Marry the Night," I'd be dead in a box, and that's the cold hard truth of it. So I'm faithful to her music. I love what she does, everything about her, and of course, I don't think I can have "Marry the Night" as my entrance music because it's very. It takes me to a place. It reminds me of the knife. It reminds me of the trauma that I had and that I still have deep down. it just takes me back. Or even though it's an uplifting song, I believe it's most likely going to be another song, possibly "Born This Way." Born This Way is like being proud to be born this way, whichever way you are born, God makes no mistakes, she says in that song. So I believe that would most likely be my entrance music. But every single time I fight, I assure you, I will be always walking out to Lady Gaga. And I'm always going to be donating a portion of my purse to her charity, Born This Way Foundation. She helps make the world a kinder place, and I love her foundation. And yeah, she means the world to me. So one day I know I will meet her, and I'll probably just cry and fall on the floor. But she's, yeah, I love her to bits. I'm the biggest little monster you can see.